Hello and welcome to Farming Simulator 19. I'm Andy and this is Let's Play on a British farm, which is set on the map Dalton Valley Farm. And last time we were spreading slurry, I've done a bit of that off screen, so we have one more field to spread slurry on, namely this number 16 here. We spread on 4, 7, 6 and 10, and we have 16 left, which is the last of our fields. So I'm going to go head on over to that field. I usually drive south on the map, but we're going to drive north because I actually think it's a shorter drive. This one we did spread slurry. So full speed ahead. So I'm going to go up here and then we're going to take hang a left and then we're going to drive across and then down south again towards the number 16 field, which I don't know if we will complete the whole field with one load, if we need to go back. I think this is where we go across. Yeah. I wish there was a shortcut, but that's across my neighbor's land and we don't want to do that, so we're just gonna head on over across this land. It would be cool if we owned some land closer to us, but I think in a British sense, in a British way, I think they're usually a bit spread out. It's actually one of the things that happened, I think it was around 1800 maybe, late 1800s in Sweden at least. We had this called skifte, which meant that we had the same sort of division when it came to land as in, for instance, here and in some parts of Germany. And so you had a farm, well, you had villages and then you had lots of areas which were not part of the villages. And those areas you well, you had villages where people lived, and then you had the actual land which people farmed, which were outside the villages. That changed in the late 1800s, I think, in Sweden, because then they decided to divide everything up. So, because before you would have your farm or your house, and then you had your areas which you farmed, and they would be spread out. So then you took everyone's areas, combined it, then divided it, and so you got a plot of land which was together. And then people built their farms on that land, which meant that a lot of the villages ceased to exist in a sense they had been before. And they also, what also happened was that a lot of it was easier to farm your land, basically. So you got these farms spread out the countryside, and each farm had its land close to it. So less villages, more farmland close together, and it was all divided fairly. So if you own, say, 15 hectares or 15 acres or whatever, you got the same land afterwards. So it just was all together. Not completely without issue, well, from what I remember from my history lessons, because some lands are better than other lands. So, but pretty smoothly anyway. So people could see the sort of basic point of doing it that way. So that's why the countryside in Sweden looks a bit different from, say, this countryside. Actually looks quite a lot different from the compared to this countryside. Check that it works out and everything goes. So as you can see, it's fertilizing. I don't know if you can have it one more level. Maybe you could. I would hope one more, but I'm not sure you could spread slurry on it, or if you have to spread some sort of other form of fertilizer, maybe fertilizer from a fertilizer spreader. You could maybe try that later, maybe next day in the game. We're definitely not going to make this on one load. Just made one trip across here. About half a load. So it's going to take 2 loads, at least 2 loads to do this. Just want to check something and how much slurry we have left here. 199,000 liters. And there were like 800,000 liters or something in the other bin. So we have a lot of slurry to do this. And you want to do this mostly with slurry instead of using fertilizer, which is made of petroleum. I think a lot of that it's done from that, or other forms of non-renewable agents. If I'm cheating a bit to do this from outside, I know. I keep saying I'm not going to cheat, but I actually do cheat a lot when it comes to this. At least to get some sort of sense of where I should drive. Which I basically suck at. I'm not very good at this. Maybe around there, so I'm not sure. It's gonna I don't want to overlap too much. I don't want to overlap too little either. Well, I don't want a gap in there. I think I'm overlapping a bit too much. It's hard to tell where to drive. Okay, so we're not gonna make this in one go. We need one more go, one more load at least to fill this, to do this. Probably overlapping a lot. There's a turn thingy. When you turn, you get these sort of areas which you miss quite easily. I want to avoid that, but it's kind of hard to avoid it. Because that's the way it spreads basically in when you're spraying. So maybe around there. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Okay, so that was it. Go and refill. Here's the hard part. How Can you get out of here without seeing something? The lights on. And I think we go across somewhere here, right? Yeah, here. So this is only a short drive here. We're going to load this up one more and then we're going to go and finish that field off. Then we have to wait until it's time for the next harvest. We might have to go somewhere in between and sell some milk, maybe. It's time for that. Yeah, I think that's probably it. We should do that sometime between here and then. I don't know what to go and sell the milk, and I have no idea how much money we're going to make, but hopefully we'll make some money from the milk. And I will go back into the farm. Cars drive kind of slow on this map. So if I drive that speed, I'm catching up. If I drive the slower speed, I'm losing. So somewhere in between, I'm guessing, would be the correct speed. It gets quite dirty from the whole thing. Gets quite dirty when it comes to spreading slurry. Grassland, 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 lots of grasslands. And around this farm. There's some sort of thing there. Somewhere that says something. Does seem to have extraordinary powers when it comes to making things bump. Okay, let's see if I can hook this up. Oh, so I have to bring it. So I put it underneath first. That seems to be a much better way to get it loaded. Not the most exciting piece of episode ever. Weight 12%. I don't know. Slur tanker 10.5%. Weight 12%. Tractor 40%. I don't know what those numbers in the corner mean. They mean something, of course. So I think this is a slurry pit. No, sorry, manure. I think the manure ends up there if you have straw fed to your animals. Thinking this could be another silage pit, but it's not. I think that's not how it works. Turn the pump off. Turn this off. Turn this off. Hook this. Let's head on out and spread the last bit of slurry. We have a bunch of both silage and straw, but I haven't given that to the animals because I don't want manure. I don't have anything to spread the manure with, so keeping that out. Ah, Jesus. Sorry, my bad. It didn't even stop. Maybe they're quite used to people hitting them with cars, tractors in the countryside. That would have been an expensive accident for me. Just imagine the damage a tractor would do to a car. It's a lot of damage. So it would do a lot of damage. It would cost a lot of money to fix that. Good thing. There was this, I don't think it was FS19, I think it was FS17 that had this like damage mod. So if you hit stuff, it would break and it would cost money to repair it. I never used it. I never even tried it. But I liked the idea somewhat, except I drove like an idiot back then. I still like drive like an idiot in the game. And I keep hitting things, so it would be really costly. But maybe that would make it more sort of like realistic in the sense that you would be more careful with stuff. I wonder if that's around for FS19. I haven't seen it for FS19, so I'm guessing probably not. It's an interesting concept. Because I think it was FS17. Was it FS19? No, I think it was FS17. I could be wrong there. Could that be around for FS19? No, I'm thinking not, but I'm not gonna say definitely it's not around, because I could be wrong there. It could be around. Or not. I don't know. See if we go across here. Do this in some sort of semi-orderly fashion. I'm trying to look at some sort of line where I've been, or where I've spread slurry, and where I spread slurry in sort of reference to that. I think this looks okay. This is one way of doing it. If you don't know where you have the corners and how much you spread is, that if you're driving in a straight line and you keep spreading slurry, that would mean you would have the same sort of reference point on the grass for how wide you would spread stuff. So for instance, if I have this here, I think that's pretty much how wide you will get that, and I would spread it. I just follow the edge of where I spread the last row on the same space, on this case in the middle of the monitor there. I'll try to keep it in the middle of the monitor, I'm not that exact. And that would hopefully sort of spread it the same width all the time. So I think this is one way of doing that, is if you don't have a GPS or that sort of stuff, keeping some sort of reference to the next line over. That's hard on some maps, or depending on what you do. If you spread it, say you're spraying a field and you're spraying it in during, I mean, when it's growing so far up you can't see what's going on the ground. It's hard here too, but it's easy here somehow. You can see the nuances here. But if you say you have spread, when spraying a field, you can't really tell the difference of where you sprayed before and where you sprayed afterwards. So then the GPS is very handy, I guess. GPS is handy anyway because you don't get the same overlap as here. You can be more precise with GPS than you can on this way, but this is one way I'm thinking you could do it. We could spend a lot of time turning backwards, which you should probably do anyway, so we have some sort of idea where you've been, where you're going. That's the end of the row. Let's see. There we go. Covered the whole thing. So did we miss something? Probably. Here it is. This bit. There's a sort of follow line here again. On there, I guess. I don't know. I can't tell where I am. So I'm cheating. Couldn't tell where I was. I keep missing a bit start there. You can see where I missed. A lot of rows. It's okay, we can't be 100% sure or close to should be. So next field over here, this is one I would like to have been able to drive through, because then I would get quite easily over to my farm, which is just over there. I wouldn't have to drive around everything. The way this is set up, we need to drive around everything. And then we just have to bring this back to our farm. Just checking on my recording time, 22 minutes. I think that's about it. Turn this off and we can go up here. Go across here and we'll go out and close the gate. Yeah, we managed to pass that. Okay, let's go back to our farm and just park this trailer, and then we're done with this episode, I believe. I could clean everything up, I guess. Everything is dirty. We'll go clean it. See if I can find where I put my power cleaner. Or, do you say power cleaner? Is that the correct term? That doesn't feel right. This is a problem when you're not a native speaker. Sometimes you get the sense like, oh, that doesn't feel right. That's not how you would say it. That's not the correct word or the correct pronunciation or that sort of stuff. Just think that, oh, this is off somehow. Power cleaner seems off. It's not a power cleaner, it's a power washer. No, that's not. Maybe power washer. Is it a power washer? I feel insecure. Sorry. Go out in front of that car. Feel bad. Making a mess. So here. We can turn the lights off and we can go and clean this off. Oh, it's over here. I can see it from here. So it's hard to know where I place these. Sometimes I place these in the weirdest places. Because it's not always you can place them where you want to. Oh dear. Sometimes you have to place them in other places. Took a screenshot for our thumbnail for this episode. I actually like the power washing function in Farming Simulator. I think there was around like 15, FS15. I thought it was a pretty cool thing. But then it just like you sprayed and everything clean. It's the same principle as before. It just looks somewhat more refined these days than it did before. I actually have this manure spreader. Okay. So we could spread manure, I guess, if we wanted to. So where to all place this over here by all the stuff, all the slurry stuff. Oh dear. A bit too sharp. We'll place it about here-ish. Unhook that. There was something I was going to do. I think we're going to take the milk cart. Turn it off, because the last thing we're going to do on this episode is we're going to clean out the stables here. Going to our JCB, we just need to switch over to our telehandlers profile in Joy to Key. So fermented WCS. It's basically some sort of food. So just drop it off there. Everything looks good. Again. So, pretty simple. Where would you get the milk? Light split switch on. Where would you get the milk? It's probably down here somewhere. Oh, here. 7,390. Milk loading point. It even has a sign. But where would you drop off the milk? Milk. Where would you drop off milk? Milk. Tune. Dalton Barn Store. That's up here, right? Dalton Barn Store. That's pretty close by. Okay, so we'll load this up, I guess. We'll go sell the milk. We can get around this because it's a pretty easy trailer to turn around. Please. Okay, so Dalton Barn Store. It's gonna be a slightly longer episode than I planned because I want to. I could get around, and that's good turning radius on a on a trailer. It's basically just across there, so hopefully we could sell it there. Seems so ridiculously close by though. I think you have to drive a bit further. I still think someone should invent a mod that actually makes them pick up the milk, because you wouldn't drive around milk in real life. They would come get it at the farm, at least in Sweden. Haven't heard of anyone. Well, if you sell the milk at your farm, but otherwise you go get, they come get it. The company you're making milk for will come get the milk at your farm. Okay, let's see. There's a sign here. Oh, sorry. Milk. Yeah, currently taking milk. So I guess we just drop off milk here. Seems odd, but maybe it works. It does. So we're selling milk. We'll make a little bit of money. Not a ton, but a little bit of money. So 2,163 is pretty okay. This out of here. Oh, that's not correct in any sense. I need to switch back to my Georgia key Autosteer seeder setup. So now. Okay, so we sold off milk. We finished slurrying. We cleaned out the stables. That's a lot of things to do on an episode. Oh, it's pretty okay. Next thing we're gonna do is cut some grass again, which will be in a few days in the game. We'll see. Maybe we'll go and need to sell off some more milk before that. But that's for next time, or maybe the time after next, or maybe we'll just skip it and the next time we'll meet will be sort of selling milk. No, not selling milk, we'll be... actually I'm going to park this over here, I think. In case we need it. Okay. That's about it. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, everyone, and I'm Andy. If you like this channel, please subscribe. If you like this episode, please hit the like button, leave a comment, or share, and I will see you next time. Have a great day, everyone. Bye bye.